here we go. Yeah, we have a decent bit of treasures. So, let's see. This is the start of a new session for me. Normally I kind of try to keep it so you can't tell too easily because I want to make it like a seamless experience. But today I realized, like, man, it's been just like a couple days since I recorded, and I don't remember what the heck was going on when we last played. So, wow, the inventory in this game messes me up kind of really bad, to be honest. I find myself realizing more and more that it's really limited in this game. Let's see, I guess we can upgrade our dragon again. But yeah, I know I keep saying it over and over and over, but it messes me up so much how the inventory, that you really don't have much space. I mean, look at this. All I have is shotgun shells and pistol ammo, and I have 4 weapons, and it's just totally like, I really can't hold much. See, it tells you what level you're on when you last played, and I kind of neglected looking at that. Oh wait, no, I remember where we are. Okay. So we're gonna get rid of the sniper, I think. Yeah, I think that's all we need to do, probably. Okay. I mean, I remember where we were. I'm not entirely positive I actually remember. Yeah, I know where this level, kind of like how it goes. So we got onto the boat. We're chasing ya boy Wesker. He running because he's scared. Okay, before we get into it, let me actually look at my inventory for a sec. Another plan. What could Wesker possibly do? Wesker's not that evil, is he? No. Hello, sir. Alright. Okay. Give him the old smackaroo and then get myself smackarooed. Okay, grenades. Your boys are not giving us 1 second of relief here. So, this is kind of this game's, like a lot of Resident Evil games, kind of just end with a lab sequence. I guess that kind of changed with RE4? Because RE1 ends with a lab, and RE2, I guess RE2 doesn't, maybe, but it does all but like the very end in a lab. And I don't remember RE3, the original, or the remake. I haven't played either one, so frankly, I don't remember. But RE4 doesn't end in a lab, and this game technically doesn't. Just like Resident Evil 7, this game spends most of its ending on a big old boat. I guess at some point they decided, I don't know, maybe the labs aren't the way to go. Maybe we just need boats. Okay, these guys are just throwing grenades left, right, and center. If I can hit one of the grenades on this guy's chest. There we go. But yeah, I'm not really sure why. What's up with the boat thing? It's kind of weird. I don't think RE6 had a... Oh, no, well, okay. Here's the thing. So in Resident Evil 6, at the end of Chris's campaign, you don't end up on a ship, per se. You do end up on... Or in, I guess, an oil rig platform that, like, goes deep underwater. Cause yeah. So you know what? I'm just gonna say screw it. That's basically just a boat that forgot its propellers. And so that would make 3 games in a row where they were like, hey, I love water vessels. Not sure what that means. It's easy to understand what the lab thing means metaphorically. I'm not so sure about the ship. Then again, You know, you can read a lot from a video game metaphorically, based on environments, mechanics, all sorts of stuff. The danger with video games is there gets to be a point where you're like, is this a metaphor or is this just a video game? Which, you know, see, the problem with metaphors is they're fucking everywhere. We can't get rid of them. Anything can be a metaphor. That's dangerous. My dog throwing up could be a metaphor, depending on who you ask. I'm sure he would like to think so. But yeah, don't really know what that means. I think it can be, you know, certain game series are easier to analyze artistically than others, like the Silent Hill series, at least the early games. I think you can analyze them really well and get some good stuff out of them, like, without having to reach very far or anything. Resident Evil is a little bit more questionable to me, because you don't always know when something is meant to be particularly meaningful. See, the difficulty with making things artistic in a video game is you have to manage artistic intent and the game actually being fun. And honestly, games that can combine both, I don't know. I wouldn't really say they're the norm. I wouldn't say it's that uncommon, but I also wouldn't say that, you know, most games are successful in hitting both those notes. At least in a really effective way. Gosh dang, these dogs. They're a metaphor for me being fucking annoyed is what they are. So, you know, Silent Hill, for instance. I'm using Silent Hill because, I guess because of the horror monster aspect with relatively normal people who tend to be American and who are fighting monsters with guns. I don't know, I guess it feels easier to relate them. But, you know, I guess in reality they're very different. Very different franchises. But nonetheless, I'm gonna compare them. You know, I guess I just feel like Silent Hill... Well, Silent Hill definitely builds its stories more on having deeper meanings, I guess. So, I suppose for somebody who doesn't necessarily know an awful lot about Silent Hill, whatever the hell I'm talking about, is like totally... everything I'm saying right now is basically just totally vague. So, just to give some context for those who don't know, Silent Hill, its stories are based upon the idea that people that have messed up pasts, like maybe they let's see, they tend to be based around family, so it'll be like, I'm trying to think if I really just want to outright spoil them. I guess they're really old games. I'll try to be relatively vague, but it's stuff like having the desire to cheat on your partner, or and on the same note, like having fantasies about other people when you have a partner. Or it could be the desire to protect someone who you're actually hurting. All sorts of stuff like that. It's kind of, the whole series is based upon fears that people... It's like insecurities, I guess. A lot of it is about insecurities people have with themselves. You know, people that are worried that what they're doing is hurting others. But they're good intention, maybe. They have good intentions, sometimes. But in reality, they are hurting others. So, that's still super vague, but hopefully that helps a little bit. So that's kind of a contrast to Resident Evil 5 in this instance, where we've been just running around mainly Africa, just killing a shitload of dudes that are just clearly just dudes. Because this game, like Silent Hill, you enter like a land of illusion. Silent Hill isn't, I don't really think exactly, it's meant to be a real place, quote unquote. Whereas like Resident Evil actually just straight up takes place in America or Africa or whatever the hell. And come to think of it, maybe just basing your game in the real world instantly makes a lot of different metaphors almost kind of inaccessible, or at least much harder to get to. Hold on, I'm confused what the hell I'm supposed to be doing. There we go. But so Silent Hill can take better advantage of the whole fantasy type of aspect in that way. But beyond that, here's the similarities. Both series have you fighting a lot of monsters with guns. You tend to be like Americans. Let's see, I mean, a lot of just mutated people. God, what the hell am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing right now? I'm like, kind of just blabbering on and I'm like, lost. Do I actually have the key for this thing? I need a key card. See, if I wasn't talking about unrelated series. Oh wait, maybe I have to go up there. What is this shadow? Is that a dude with a shield? But where is he up? Is he up there? What the fuck? Okay. Let's see. I might have an idea of where we're. I won't avoid the point I was talking about. I know it's taking me forever to get through it. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm like getting embarrassed because I don't know what I'm doing. If this takes too long, I'll just cut it. But what the heck? It says there's a ladder over there. Oh wait, that's behind Sheva. Sheva, can you like do something to help me more outside of just standing there? Okay, I think we have fixed the bug. Wow. Alright, so as soon as we're done with this guy, hopefully I don't die, because then the bug is just gonna reset itself. But I will explain the absolute shenanigans I have been through. My gosh. Man, these guys are the worst. And Sheva loves to use her ammo in the worst way possible. Okay, so what happened? You'll recall a little bit ago I was like, hey, why is there that shadow? Why is there a guy, just his shadow right here? So what's going on was, during that section we just had where we killed the 6 or 7 dudes that drop out of these containers, there's supposed to be another one that comes down, and it's that guy we just saw. And he's like all mutated and shit, and you kill him, he's a little tough, and then drops a keycard. Well, I've never seen this glitch before, ever. I don't know if it's PC only. I don't know at all. But played this game on 2 other platforms, never had this issue. So, the dude was running in circles up there, over and over, and I need him to come down here. So really early on I actually managed him to come down, but the problem was, first of all, I didn't actually realize it was him that was causing the glitch, and also Sheva used about 300 machine gun bullets, and I used a lot of my ammo trying to kill him because, I don't know, he wasn't dying, and I was very confused. So I just restarted, couldn't replicate that. So since the dude was at the top of this, I was like, well, hey, these steam community guide things are just like, yeah, shoot this guy with the sniper. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, that just caused him to be invincible. So I was like, well, that's not gonna work. So it's been about 20 minutes. I was about to just quit out of the game and download a fix that, I think was fan-made. Fortunately, right at the end there, the guy came down. He almost killed me. I'm gonna resume the footage right at the point, well, I guess you'll have already seen it, but the dude, I heard his stun rod and I was like, wow, it's getting really loud. And I turn around and he's right behind me, and man, that would have sucked if he had killed me. Wow, what a weird glitch. Apparently there's a speedrun strategy, well, I shouldn't really necessarily call it a speedrun strategy, but a strategy used in speedruns where you can actually kill the gate controller that trapped Sheva in that little container she was just in. I guess I wasn't able to just see the guy. I don't know. If I'd investigated it for a little while longer, I would have figured it out. But oh my gosh, that was annoying. Usually I don't have much trouble with bugs. Yeah, that one, oh man. That was rough. About 20 minutes. Jeez. There was a point where I was just like, you know what? No one wants to hear me babbling very confusedly as I attempt to understand what in the world's going on. I honestly just thought I was like having a stroke or something. I was like, wow. Here goes my brain again. No, for once. In a stroke of what one could either call horrible luck or good luck, since I know I didn't have a stroke now. Yeah, the game just decided no. That's what it said. The game said no. What I was talking about was Silent Hill and Resident Evil and video game metaphors. And honestly, I think we can all tell I was getting myself all messed up trying to figure out where the heck I was heading with that. So, I guess I'll be a little bit more broad and just be like, you know, the interesting thing about video games is that a developer can choose whether they want to make a game more artistically sound, mechanically sound, or both. I mean, that's not to say that they will be successful, but they can put their focuses in certain places. Like, you know, generally a multiplayer only game is gonna decide to be mechanically sound, or a story-based game like maybe The Witcher, I suppose, is at least more I would say it's more artistically sound overall. Not to say that a game can't have both and be fantastic, it tends to be kind of like you never really know if it's actually gonna work. So like Silent Hill, for instance, I think they have, at least for the first few games, they got both right. Resident Evil, I kind of think, is better in the gameplay department, but I don't want to put Resident Evil down as being like, you know, their stories are meaningless. I guess it's just hard to decide what makes a game meaningful story-wise, I suppose, considering that's entirely an opinion-based thing, that's not for just anyone to decide for all games. But, you know, I think most people would be like, yeah, Fortnite's not really, and I mean, when I say artistically, I've mostly been referring to, you know, story beats and metaphors, that type of thing, not, you know, graphical appearance or things of that nature. So people would probably say, yeah, Fortnite's not really as much artistically bound. I guess you could argue against that. I know they do have quite the story going on, but I still would not be one to be like, oh my god, I love the deep metaphors in Fortnite. I love the amazing metaphors I get to hear in Fortnite while some dude's yelling at me to give him free V-Bucks. And yeah, you know, I guess the reason I'm having a little bit of trouble really deciphering where Resident Evil stands in it is that I've never been able to tell whether I really think Resident Evil has a strong... Not a strong story. I know Resident Evil has a great story. I don't know what the hell to make of it. I guess I usually just think of Resident Evil more as like a good way to get maybe a little bit spooked, maybe get a little bit of a story that's got some spice to it, a little bit of flavor here and there. But you know, I don't know. Now I think of it, I took a mythology class years ago, and it's always been my favorite class I ever took in college. And there's a big emphasis on, I don't remember what it's called, like the cycle of the hero, essentially. Basically, virtually, really every story, but to be a little bit more specific, really any typical story you'd see. So, I mean, like, I'm not talking about Edgar Allan Poe burying bodies under his floorboards. I'm talking more about, like, you know, I don't know, Resident Evil, Jurassic Park, Splinter Cell, yeah, just, you know, a normal story with a hero that undergoes trials. There's a big series of steps, and there's actually a lot more than you might expect. I think there was like around 13 or so. And so I guess like a game like RE4 would fit that mold like crazy well. If only I remembered more about it. But it had things to do with, you know, of course every story has to have a problem. The reality is you almost never want to read a story if it doesn't have a problem. It doesn't have to be, oh shit, I need to go save my partner, she's dying or something. It could be, I feel nervous today, I'm gonna go look at flowers. Doesn't matter, you get the idea. A story always has a problem. So in RE4 we gotta save the president's daughter. Oh shit, we got a new gun. Sheva, hold this grenade. Jailbreaker. Why did they change the name of the Striker to the Jailbreaker? Striker sounds so much better. Anyway. So in RE4, also another part of the hero's kind of journey is... well, we better watch this cutscene. I need to play a game that's like gameplay only so I can never get interrupted.
Tell us what we want to know and you won't get hurt. Where's Wesker?
If you can behave yourselves, maybe I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm sure Excella would be very cooperative. How do you guys miss that?
Damn it!
She's tough. I'll give her that much. What's this? Chris, is this...
Whatever it is, Excella...
It's evil. Anytime you pick up a syringe full of stuff in Resident Evil, like, has there ever been a time in Resident Evil where there's been a syringe full of stuff and it didn't have at least some kind of mild ill effects? There are times in Resident Evil where somebody, like a good person, a good guy, uses something like that to like save themselves, I think, but usually that shit comes with like side effects or something. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. Let's read this document so I can get back to what I was talking about. Oh, it's Miguel. Remember Miguel, the guy who's like, oh, I'm a big badass or something. Our current aim is to develop a virus that surpasses the potential of previous shit. We need shit to work this time. You're told not to be concerned with retention and rejection rates. Why? That's pretty important, but okay. Alright, so I'm doing pretty well, but there's a problem. Sometimes I frighten myself with my own ingenuity. Sometimes my genius, it frightens me. Oh, wow, that's it. Okay, but anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. Within the hero's kind of path, there comes to be a point where they're essentially reborn. I'm trying to think what part that would be for RE4. I guess there's a point where Leon gets rid of the virus that's been injected into him. I guess I would say that. There's also the concept of having numerous Sheva, move out of my way. The concept of having numerous and varied trials, and gosh, the gameplay challenges they put you up against in that game alone settle that, but you could analyze that for a lot of ways. And, you know, I could go on. I don't remember all the steps. I probably don't even remember the majority of them. Maybe sometime I'll talk about that more, because I actually find it really interesting, and I think it'd be fun to share that with people, just what all those things are, and how they apply to, you know, pretty much all stories. I mean, I would have a hard time believing there are outliers. Well, let me rephrase that. It doesn't necessarily apply to all stories, but it applies to almost all stories that we as people enjoy. So, a story missing any of those concepts is probably going to leave you feeling dissatisfied, or the story will feel like it's just straight up missing something, even if you just don't realize what it is. So, okay, that settles my question of how Resident Evil can really work in terms of like I don't know, how it can work artistically. Obviously I'm going super deep into it to the point that's like almost kind of ridiculous, I think, for Resident Evil maybe. Other series, maybe not. Resident Evil, maybe just a little bit overboard. Just a little bit. Damn, I hate these guys. What really jacks me up sometimes is like, man, it's just been... I mean, you could say that there's been many, many, many different years, which was the year that gaming began. You could say it's the year the first video game ever was made. You could say it was, you know, when video games first began to kick off, just in general. Or you could say it's when they started to get, like, really popular and get a huge audience. I don't know. It's very opinion-based. I would say it's as soon as the first actual, like, commercial video games began to be made and were being sold. And, well, at least probably. Maybe if I thought about it more, I'd change my mind, but I think that's what I'd say. But either way, I mean, video games are not old. At all. Not right now. At all. They are not old at all. I mean, I don't know. I guess I kind of feel like video games really got going in the 80s. So that would... I mean, I'm not really sure what point in the 80s. I really need to research it more. But I'm just gonna say broadly the 80s. So let's just be crazy generous and say 1980. That's 40 years ago. I mean, that's just 40 years. I mean, I think as pretty much any serious gamer at some point will think about that and be like, wow, that's really weird. But I don't think anyone would be able to really understand how significant that is until, gosh, I guess every like 10 years as we advance, you think back to the last 10 years and you're like, wow, we have really changed. Or at least I do, not everyone does. Like, gosh, what's it gonna be like in 50 years, 100? Who the hell knows, man? Will VR be basically every game? Or will video games basically just be the way they are now? Who knows? It messes me up. Makes me wonder, like, you know, with other hobbies, say ones that have been around a few hundred years, you probably wouldn't generally, it's hard to be so vague without a specific thing in mind. But generally, any hobby will have changed so significantly that to think of yourself using the same tools that they used... Oh gosh, I accidentally skipped that. Oh, take cover, Chris! Oh my god! Okay, we got big shooty boys now. But to think about using the tools a hobby a few hundred years ago would have used, and then to think about the tools you use now, it's like, why would I... Man, using that stuff before must have been terrible. So it makes me wonder, like, is there going to be a point where people look back to this, to Resident Evil 5, and they're like, oh my gosh, how did people enjoy that? That's terrible. I would be kind of surprised if not, to be honest. I often get that feeling of like, man, couldn't I have just been born like a little later when video games get more advanced? But what you have to settle that in your head is like, doesn't matter where you are in history, you're always going to be primitive in 50 years. Okay. This dude is jacking me up. No! Okay, fortunately he just had a celebration shoot. Thank you, Sheva, for being my only cheerleader right now. I can't be my cheerleader. I'm getting my ass kicked. It is crazy how tough enemies are in comparison to RE4. Okay, dude, you need to stop. Wait, maybe I should have just gone up here all along. I just want this guy to give me a break here. Do we get him? Nope. He's still going. Like, this guy. He don't die. That's my song. That's the song of Resident Evil. This guy, he don't die. Like, I think in Resident Evil 4... I think I got like the Killer 7 Magnum, and I shot one of these dudes in the head twice, and he died. I've shot this dude with about, let's see, I've shot him with about 15 sniper rounds, I think, which in RE4, okay, so that took 17 total, which in RE4 would have translated to like, oh gosh, I don't even know. Way too much. It's just stop. Give me a break here. My brain is too inefficient right now to be dealing with this. I don't really like the boat section in this game, to be outright honest. To me, it's just far too much of the same. Look, the problem with metal environments in games, like, and by that I mean environments that just have a lot of metal in them, just period, is that they're just, it's so hard to make them feel varied. And it's weird because if you have an environment that's nothing but, say, like a forest, reasonably you'd probably be like, well, all that's the same. But the thing is, even minute differences in positioning of terrain and trees and all that shit, it's actually surprising how big a difference that makes in the long run. Whereas with this, like, the metal is deliberately made to be, you know, the same, essentially. Okay, rocket launcher man. Fortunately, they're kind of nice to you, and like the rocket launcher guys can't hit shit half the time. Another thing I don't like, these dang dudes and their helmets. Wait, where's the last? Oh yeah, the last guy's down here. Excuse me? My bullets cannot reach this man. Excuse me, sir. There we go. Ugh, but, you know, even with this game having an environment in it that I just straight up am like, this environment sucks, I still can enjoy playing the game because I don't know what it is. I'm guessing maybe it's just a nostalgia thing. This was kind of my first major survival horror game, I think. I'm sure I said that. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe just that the gameplay is still kind of okay. But that wouldn't make sense because I don't like really having to fight shooting enemies in this game. I don't know, man. Maybe this will be my final guess. Maybe I just like the parts of the game that are challenging, even when they're BS. That's, I guess, the most reasonable explanation I can think of.
So, you've made it this far. Too bad you won't make it much further.
Oh god, Wesker. You are a bitch boy. Wesker has such thin little lips.
The Wesker children were entrusted with endless potential. Of them, only one survived. You.
Yeah.
Are you saying I was manufactured?
I mean, yeah, Wesker.
Creating a new world with an advanced race of human beings. However, all was lost in Raccoon City.
Did you really lose everything in Raccoon City? I'm pretty sure Umbrella came like right back.
Your creation still holds great significance. Now my candle burns dimly. Ironic, isn't it? For one who has the right to be a god. To face his own mortality.
The right to be a god.
That right is now mine.
That right is now mine.
I've heard that too many times, Wesker. You can't shock me anymore.
The right to be a god. You. Arrogant even until the end. Only one truly capable of being a god deserves that right.
I mean, Wesker, considering the end of this game,
The right. With Ouroboros, I have that right.
what is with the obsession to have the right to be a god? Why not just be a god, man? As Shia would say. Shia was... Oh, man. As Shia would say, just do it. It's just that easy.